everyone. We have a special guest tonight. Ken is in the background producing, which is awesome.
Good evening, everyone.
I invited him to stop in and if he felt like it to produce. I will tell everybody the Constitution build has its moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you didn't see it on Discord, but I have a broken piece of one of the frames.
Oh no.
It's okay. It's just a little corner that's broke off, and so I was able to actually correct it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's not 100% fixed. It's just a little broke. Like I said, a little piece was broken off. I found a piece that kind of matched. I cut it. I fit it in there. I glued it so that it's holding it solid right now. But that way, later on, it will. It actually won't matter once you start putting the grid work for the base floors in there. So we have Don and Keith.
Hey guys.
And somebody else is hiding in the background. So last week, not Amazon just delivered. Last week I started working on puttying this up and figuring out how I'm going to clean that up a little bit. And then I looked into the instructions, and on here, down here across this area here, they have you put some floor or some. Don's in there twice, and Jody's here. Welcome.
Welcome, Jody.
But they have you put some. Actually, I want to say they have you put in 1 mil by 5 mil. Yeah, 1 mil by 5 mil. I have some half mil stuff that is from other builds, so that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to lay this across here, and I may go all the way across. That's why I have two pieces. I just thought of something. I did a stupid, but I got away with it.
Oh, what's that?
I keep forgetting that these things are here now.
Oh, yeah, you're going to be careful setting it. Do you have like a towel or something that's kind of plush?
Actually, what I do have, where is it? Probably somewhere inconvenient. There it is. It's not quite a towel. And I haven't had it out for a while. I used to do part works on it. And speaking of which, I owe Todd a huge thank you. I got 2 emails from Fan Home today. And apparently, I'll be getting an Iron Spider.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
From Wild West?
Yes. No, the one from Iron Man. The one, what is it? I forget what movie it was. I think it was Avengers where it first showed up.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mentioned to Todd that I would love to do that, but I'm also, having just retired, not really able to start up new part works.
Right. Yeah, I think that was the Avengers beginning of like the end game or whatever, or the 2-parter.
Something like that. Yeah. And it was Endgame because at the end of that movie, that was when Spider-Man disappeared.
Right.
Oh, and you'll appreciate this, Ken. I was using the chisel today in a video, and I said I've got to be careful while I'm using this because pushing down like this, I have snapped them before and cut myself.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I didn't do it on camera. But I did do it.
Yes. Well, there's people say it's not a real build until you bleed.
Yeah, exactly. I bled on that model, so it's a real model now.
There we go.
Okay, so yeah, it has been busy getting to that model. Lots of back and forth. And I really like the way it's going together. Very happy.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't appreciate is the fact that the box was open. It had, I don't know if it was opened at Agora or if it was open in the mail, but it was open, but reclosed. And one of the slats, one of the boards was really kind of in rough shape.
Oh, okay.
Not finished till it's lit. Well, this one's lit.
Yes, it is.
And the Constitution, or as I think it was Jeff said, the Connie will be lit. And whenever I hear it called the Connie, what I instantly think of is the Constitution aircraft.
Yep.
Because I had a commander whose dad flew in the Connies, and it getting coined by your commander is awesome. Getting coined by your commander with his dad's coin is even better.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah. Yes, CV64. Constellation. Okay, Constellation, Constitution.
When I hear Constitution, I think of an old episode of Night Court where they had a ditzy blonde on there, and she couldn't say the word Constitution. She called it Constitution.
Ah. And you said Night Court, and immediately you know what I thought of.
What's that?
Data.
Oh yeah, I remember him on in there. Him and his wife at the time. They were like poor farming hicks or something.
Yes, they were very poor hicks, and they played that so well. And I think that was actually before he was on Star Trek.
Yes, I do believe you're correct by a year or two or so. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just like I had to rewatch the original Roots when. Thought that might happen. I'll be right back. Entertain the people, Ken. I'm bleeding.
All right. Get a Band-Aid.
I am.
All right. Hey, Eric. Good to see you. Don's talking about, I don't believe the Navy can have two active ships the same name. Yeah, that would be confusing, I think, otherwise. Jody, did you get a package in the mail today? I hope you did. Canada Post says you did.
Okay, I'm back. Now I just got to get this thing on here. What was I saying?
You were talking about... we were talking about Data on Night Court, and then Roots. You were talking about Roots, and then you went back and watched the original.
Yes, I watched the new one. I think it was on. I don't remember. Was it Netflix? I don't remember who redid Roots.
I saw it advertised, but I never did. I never did watch the remake.
Yeah. Well, I went back and watched the original one, and it was one of these things. It's really neat to go back and watch things like that and go, "Hey, Kunta Kinte's Geordie LaForge."
Yeah.
The reason I bled is because of Eric. He said the voodoo clamp worked.
Trying to think, what was that? Yes, Santa Can Strixing. Yes, I did. You're welcome, Jody. I was thinking of something. It had like the space vampires, and it had Captain Kirk there, or Captain Kirk, Captain Picard there, and he ended up kissing another man in that movie.
I don't remember that.
Oh, I'm trying to remember what it was. Like space. I can't remember.
The Final Frontier. These
Yes.
are the voice. Sorry, that's my mind automatically
Yeah.
goes there.
And he wasn't one of the main characters. He was just in there for a short bit of the movie.
Well, the funny thing was that Patrick Stewart, when he signed up to play, that's not useful. When he signed up to play Jean-Luc Picard, he thought it was going to be a year, maybe. He did not think this silly series was going to make it.
Yes.
And it was funny because, what was it? He was a Shakespearean actor at the time.
Yes, he was.
Oh, wow. What'd you send? I want to know what you sent Jody.
Well, I was looking. I was gonna send him my used spray booth that I had, just like like the one Jordan has.
Yeah.
That's my old one, and I was looking at, well, Canada Post is probably going to be going on strike Friday. I need to order a box to ship it in, and then I was like, well, I'm gonna order him some paints because he needs some paints. He's having a problem with paints, so I was like, I look at the cost of a spray booth there, and I was like, you know what? The price of a spray booth from it's a company in Canada out of Toronto. I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? That's that's a decent enough price, and I'll just buy him a brand new one. Mine didn't have the LED lights like Jordan's does. That's the only real difference. So now, Jody's got one with the lights in. You can work right out of it if you want to, and film right out of it, and it'll be lit for you, if that's so what you want. And then I also sent him a bunch of the. What I started with was the Viejo or Vallejo paints when I first got back into the hobby, and I find them to actually be pretty good. They only like the Model Air stuff only really needs a drop or two of the of their thinner to make it really good at spraying. I sent them a little video on how to use it. Not my video, just a video I had found, and what to do if you start getting tip dry, and that's that sort of thing. And including some of the paints I gave them were some of the new their newer line of universe paints. So it's kind of got that starship kind of colors that he's kind of using, the translucent or kind of like a color shift type of paints.
Very
As well as some
cool.
others.
So what you're saying is Santa Ken really did strike.
I did, yeah.
Very cool, Ken. Very, very cool.
Yeah, I just didn't like seeing Jody struggle and having issues with an airbrush. And sorry, I missed you on Monday due to circumstances, beyond my control. But at some point, we'll get back together and we'll do a little airbrushing together at the same time. We're both doing it.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, I'd like to say I'm embarrassed because I didn't do as well, but I'm not going to because I wasn't embarrassed. My old airbrush booth, which I used maybe 6 or 7 times, found its home in Idaho.
Okay.
I sent. I don't trying to remember Gary, who I haven't seen in a while. I sent it to Gary. All I said was, send me $10. It was either 10 or $20 for shipping. Yep. And I sent him that along with the I had some extra filter material. No, by the way, what I'm doing right now is cutting the grab bars here. What I can do, let's do this. There we go.
Okay. Otherwise, I was going to suggest put a 1, 2, 3 block kind of at the edge of your mat there, and just put the tram at a 45-degree angle.
We'll do it this way.
That'll work just even better.
But no, I sent Gary mine because I basically said, "Does anybody want this thing?" When I bought the Pace,
right,
and it did not have. Oops. I was afraid of that. It does not have lights. Did not. Don't know what Gary did, but it was a good booth. I have 2 of those because I think it was on the Sunday stream that Donnie's was showing, and somebody said something about why you could. Todd said something about you can put those together because it was in the mirror.
Hello, Donnie.
Hey, Donnie.
Hello,
Speak
Kenneth.
of the devil. But it was funny because Todd said that, and I was like, I thought about it. Mine, the 2 that I put together like that, did not have LEDs. They do now.
Nice.
Let's
Well,
see.
now you've all been buying, strip LEDs for a while, and they're cheap and easy to get.
Yeah. Well, and what I did was I took the LED strip, I put it in there, just kind of measured it and made sure it fit, and then taped it up. I also did the what do you want to call it? I did the LED strip, and then I wired everything together. It's 12 volts, but I managed to finagle it to where I tell the smart speaker in the garage, or in actually any of my smart speakers, I tell it to turn on the airbrush, or what it is, turn on paint booth, and it automatically turns on.
Nice.
Just like I muted for a second there, so I could turn on the lights that are right there. So let's see. I've seen some chat. Who's here? Who else here?
So Kenneth came in.
Yep. Welcome, Kenneth.
And Donnie's here now.
Yeah.
And they were just kind of all talking amongst themselves.
And Donnie said, "Light it up." Come on, Eric. Are you saying turnabout's fair play?
And Donnie, I really enjoyed watching your stream last night. When you started and there was only one person there, that was me.
I think then I must have been the second one because I popped on almost immediately after, or I popped on right before he started. I paused my game because I wanted to know what was in that box.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I jumped on, I think 2 minutes before your stream started and just sat there and waited while I was quickly cooking something to eat.
So these grab handles, these brass rods that are grab handles, they're actually going to get bent. Let me see if this camera will pick it up. There's a way to make it pick it up. We'll do it this way. I'll have to drill that out a little bit. Yeah, it's not going to go through it. But there's right there, you can see the hole.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they're going to need to be bent just a hair to come down and poke through there. Interesting, though, is it's a little bit iffy to get them just through here. What I may do, since I know I'm going to have to drill them out a little bit, probably will work a little bit better to slide them up through the bottom. But for right now, I'm just going to keep pushing them through. And since I know I popped one of these out already, we'll just, come on, don't pop this thing out. The great part is this is right, it's behind my hand, so I can't see what I'm doing.
Isn't that always the case?
Yep. Okay, there we go.
They're talking about caressing the like button, and Eric's, ew, it was sticky. Well, now we'll just have to find out who touched it before you.
Actually, we know who did that. Eric has this thing with the like button. He has this love-hate thing. He breaks it Where'd it go? Where's it? There it is. This is one of my favorite tools.
I know.
Actually, you know what?
Been watching you use that. It is a really cool tool.
It is, and it was, well, it was $8 on Amazon, and the funny thing was that I actually ended up getting a second one because the first one they did what Amazon does. There were other things that were not in that order that they threw the little bitty package about this big. They just threw it inside the box with everything else.
Right.
So I ended up throwing it away and said, wait, I never got it. I didn't see it. And I went back and looked in the box. I never found it. So I was like, they sent me a second one. There's the one thing that is really nice about Amazon.
And they're big enough that sort of thing doesn't hurt them at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Kenneth is saying he got done his with his Agora Porsche 917 K-Pack 11, and he got 2 packs of the fan home build, the Dodge Charger. Right on, Kenneth.
Very cool. And for
Donnie
anybody,
says, oh, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, Donnie said, "Yeah, Buck. When you get older, things tend to pop out more often."
They do. Let's not talk about my back today when I was out in the yard working.
Ooh.
But I have the last of our, Andrea had ordered some heart-shaped planters, not really planters, but, just kind of the boxes that you put around trees that are planted into the ground. So I got the last of those put in place today. We have 6 of them in the backyard.
Eric says, Buck don't need no stinking pills. He's got an Amazon pipe straightener.
That's right. Straighten that pipe right out.
Hello, Alec.
Hey,
Just
Alec.
got home. Oh, I'm sorry to hear you're not feeling well.
Is he not feeling well, or is he just sick of that job?
Well, he says he literally threw up on the floor behind the register of work.
Yeah.
And in the bathroom today. I'm sorry to hear that, Alec. I hope you're feeling better soon.
Yeah, hope so. I mean, I joke around a lot about it, but I know the punching a cash register, which please don't take any offense at that. That's just how I've always called it, because I got that from my dad. And I say that because my wife got, when she was a sales associate for AFES, one time I said punching a cash register, and that offended her. But punching a cash register is not the most glorious of jobs.
No, it's not. And
Especially,
you're on your feet so much.
Oh, yeah. Well, especially because I did it for a very short while after I retired from the Air Force at Walmart.
Oof.
And I never made it past the training.
Yeah.
Because I found a better job.
Well, that's good. Was that the post office?
That was the post office. And
right.
Then my first GS job came right after that.
Right.
But it was funny because when you're in training at Walmart, what they do is they have somebody else sign in and you work on their cash register. And they didn't mind me working on their cash register because they have this counter, number of items per hour you're scanning. And you're supposed to be over like 100 or something like that.
Right.
I would carry on a conversation with my customers at the same time as hitting usually about 300 to 400 items per hour.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gordon's here.
Gordon, welcome.
And everybody's hoping that Alec is feeling better soon. So, what were you? So you were standing there. You had 300 to 400. That you could do well. Talking to your customers, which is really nice.
Yeah. It's well, funny as it may sound, working at Walmart, and anybody who's done this knows, is not the most enjoyable job, because I don't mean to be mean, but customers at Walmart are assholes.
Yeah.
They come in not in a good mood.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I make a point of it if I'm going through when I would go through a teller's lane. If a person in front of me was like that, like a jerk or just very rude or something, I would say, like, I'd make a point of saying to the teller when I got to them, and be like, boy, that person was an asshole or whatever, like to kind of show them that I'm more on their side. Because I
Yeah.
realize you're standing all day putting up with people's crap, basically.
Oh yeah. Well, I was kind of proud of what I did. I had people show up, come through my register, and they got there in a bad mood and they left in a really good mood.
Eric said they're called a POS system for a reason.
Piece of stuff.
Yes.
Uh-oh, Johnny broke another FEP.
Uh-oh.
Interestingly, these are going in so much easier.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Could be just experience.
I think actually the poles, the down rods behind them,
Yep,
might be a little bit further out.
Oh, okay.
Every time I pick this up, I feel it when I grab here, and I'm like, no, stupid, don't do that.
I've done that on so many models in the past, and that's when you break off stuff like your mirrors and antennae and all that kind of stuff.
Let me see. Can I find it?
Oh, there goes one of your rods.
Yep. Let me see. This one. Okay. There. I don't know if it's going to show. You see that shiny spot?
Yes.
I snapped it right there.
Oh dear. Well, I mean, the good thing is it's glue it's wood and glue. You can just glue it back together.
Yep. Now here's something going thump. I think I just lost another one.
The one rod fell. It's right by the top of your wood pile there, behind.
Rolled back here to the power supply.
Donna saying Buck went postal for a while.
I did. Just for a week. I was going to be, and I'd have stuck it out, except for two things. That's when I got my first GS job, government service.
Right.
And I was hired as a TLE, temporary employee. The post office hires a bunch of people for 360 days.
Oh, okay. So you're not there for the full year.
You're there for 360 days.
Yeah.
And then they lay you off.
Yep. For 5 days.
Yep. And then it's their option whether they're going to rehire you. And I was like, I have a wife and 4 kids. Only 3 were living with, 4 kids and a grandson. Only 3 of the kids were living with us at the time. I can't deal with that kind of, maybe I have a job, maybe I don't.
Right.
Which is the exact same reason why I've known so many people that retired from the military that became contractors. And I'm like, that's a really good gig. You make a lot of money, 12 months at a time.
Mm-hmm. It's a familiar environment.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that 12 months at a time. My med group, which was my first job, my first GS job, my med group, I was the budget analyst for them. And I still remember on the 19th of December, the 20th was a Saturday, and that's when the new contract had to be signed. On the 19th of December, I had 53 employees that went home and did not know if they had a job on Monday because the contracts had not yet been signed.
Yeah, that's a horrible way to have to live.
Yes.
Not knowing.
Well, and the first time I saw a contractor really get raked over the coals was as an F-16 pilot, as an F-16 mechanic. We had the tech reps, and our tech reps were hired at a year at a time. The contract was for 4 years plus. It's 1 year plus 4 out years, so it's a 5-year contract.
Right.
The government can decide not to renew, and the company, Northrop Grumman, has the same option with their employees. One of our tech reps got notice that he was not going to have his option exercised, and I never knew why. He was a really good tech rep, but what they do, they bring the tech reps over to Europe. They rent them a car. They rent them a house. It is a fantastic deal until it's not.
Yes.
They brought him over. They paid for his stuff to come, his wife, his kids, and everything to come over. And it was a great deal. They rented a car. They rented his apartment, paid him really well. And when the contract ended at the end of that year, they said, okay, you're on your own. You got to figure out your own way to get back.
Yeah, that's not right.
No.
I'm there because you wanted me there.
Exactly. And I saw that and I was like, yeah, note to self, never, ever, ever be a contract employee.
I'm just going to read some comments here.
Absolutely.
See, Jody, I guess talking about, again, customer service jobs, like working at a till. Jody says, customers can be jerks. Jobs like that can be stressful. Well, I agree with you. That's so true. And then Gordon says, manners cost nothing, which is exactly it, especially when you're only dealing with going through the checkout and you only have to deal with that person for, a couple minutes out of your day. Use those manners.
Yeah.
Keith said, Donnie fepped up again. And Donnie says there wasn't. They're talking about if there was anything else on his plate. I said I changed the FEP Sunday night. I remember watching you on stream doing that. And sent a print to the printer. Monday when I checked on the print, it had failed. I always check the FEP after a failed print and found the tear. Ooh.
Yeah.
Eric says, Buck, did you lose another screw? That explains things.
I never had a screw to lose.
And then he says, Model Expo has a Falker for sale. The Falker is $200 off. That's a Falker good deal, he says.
Oh, look, they have more than one. I'm actually on Model Expo now. And it must be the Model Airways triplane. Because even better, I have to show it. I have to share because I enjoy the names that they have for model companies. Better than just a Fokker. Look right here. Let's see. We should zoom in on this thing a little bit.
I see that.
They have a dumbass Fokker.
Yep, I see that. Yeah, Dumas. Yeah, you're gonna say Dumas because then you just sound like you're fancy.
So Andrea just asked, I wondered if you could get it, Amazon delivered. I wondered if you could get it, bring it up, and bring her a straw. You mind entertaining the people for a minute?
Sure, I don't mind.
Okay, let me go ahead and close this window.
Oh, they sent Erica
Yep. I'll be right back.
Falker email. Nice to see. Alec, I'm not actually on Discord anymore at this time. So, yeah. So, unfortunately, I didn't receive a friend request from you at this time. So, sorry about that, buddy. Donnie, triplane, question mark. Is it trying to be a plane? Yes, that's right. Triplane, try. I ended up getting, they came out with it, the Red Barons model kit a number of years ago. I'm trying to remember who did it. But there was an error with the printing and or with the packaging of the kit, and a certain piece would get damaged or possibly broken. I've yet to go into my kit and look. I know I need to. Oh, that's nice, Donnie. Yeah, I received an email from a few people, which is it's nice to see. I got an email from Howard today as well, so I'm surprised I haven't seen Howard on here tonight. Let's see here. Eric says there's a Wonderfest idea. Build a couple of them and name the diorama and meet the Fokkers. Yes, you could. Wonderfest or any other sort of model show. That would be nice. For those of you who are wondering, though, tomorrow Jordan and I will be recording our next Buddy Build segment intro. So,
and I'm back.
The Buddy Build will still be going on with us recording our next segment, and I think we'll be announcing next segment too that there won't be a video for the week of kind of like Wonderfest because I mean Jordan's going to be gone, and I mean he's rushed enough as is, and I don't feel it's fair to rush him any further, and yeah, so that's we'll announce that for the next one. We'll pause it for a week for Wonderfest or two if at worst if we need to, and then we'll be back at it. So there should be at least one more episode coming out hopefully before Wonderfest, and I'm also looking forward to hearing back from Cass at Lake Monster Details, and hopefully we'll get some of those parts because I realize if you've seen the stream on Will's channel there, I mean Cass is a one-man operation trying to do things best he can, and he's had problems with his 3D printer as of late, so and I can imagine he was probably trying to get stuff ready for Wonderfest as well.
Pretty sure he's just like Don was. Don was a one-man show as well.
Yes, actually, if you watch that video, he talks about how he actually worked for Don for a while. Don was his mentor. He would go over to Don's place and help him cast resin products and stuff, and that's why he took over the Don Light Magic product line. That was
very cool. Okay, now I understand why they have you bend them. That was very cool because it was a shock to the modeling community when Don died.
Yes, it was. In 2019, I think.
Earlier than that, I think it was like 2016 or so.
And it might have been. But you would hear a lot of people say, because Don was a very heavy smoker, that they would get their parts and they would smell like cigarette smoke.
I never noticed. And maybe it's because I'm a former smoker.
That could do it.
So I figured out why this is going to work with these. Once you put the bend in the bottom of these rods, the bend will come out enough that it'll actually fit up through there, and that's why why they have you cut a small one for up there.
Oh, okay. The fancy curved bent metal that kind of goes up in those top corners, is that actually metal piece for the kit, or is that another material they're using?
It is. A lot of companies call it white metal. It's pure, whatever you want to call it. It's this stuff. Oops, there.
Right.
It's made out of this. I only show that because these are already painted.
Yeah. Those look nice.
So many little deep, and I'm hitting the point where you keep going, oh yeah, I still got to do this and this and this. I'm going to be done next week. Oh wait, I got to still do this.
Okay. So Donnie says, I think Don died closer to 2019 because it was after I got back into modeling. Okay.
That could be.
They do mention when it was during the stream, and I too thought it was 2019, but I don't want to bet money on it because
yeah,
I could easily be wrong.
Well, do the Google.
That's true. But unfortunately, he mentions in the video that a lot of the masters for the casts had been thrown out by his family when they were cleaning his apartment, because he was a bit of a hoarder almost, just with the amount of stuff he had, which was sad to see. So some of the stuff Cass has been trying to, I think he only managed to save one of the masters, and then I think a lot of the other stuff he's been trying to repiece together from molds that were created from the masters, but some of the molds had degraded by that point too, and it's like, well, are they still usable or not?
Well, the stuff that I've gotten from Cass has actually been the same quality as what Don was putting up.
Yes.
So I Googled Dawn from Don's Light and Magic Death, and Google came back with Dawn's Light and Magic, a fictional character from visual effects context. What? That's the AI overview. But it came up with a thing that says Dawn's Light and Magic is now Lake Monster Details, and it was 17 November 2019.
Okay, there we go. It was kind of funny to listen to the stream there, and talking about Dawn and all that stuff, and how Dawn had, he almost always ate out. He never ate at home, and but you'd go to his fridge, and there's almost never much for food in his fridge, but it was always full of resin.
Yeah. Well, I remember he was really good about contacting you if there was going to be any issues. Same with Cass. Cass was, the stuff I ordered from Cass I was really impressed.
Oh yeah.
I was really happy when I found out that he was bringing it back.
Yes. And actually to watch Cass in there too, you learn that he's actually more into model ship building, and he's actually currently building a wooden ship kit.
Very cool. What's he building?
Oh, I'm trying to remember. But he showed it on the stream. He showed where he was with the progress. He pulled it out. It was mostly the hull looked like it was done.
I had a silly thought. And I know you and Jordan have probably mentioned this to him. and if you haven't, and I know with your situation, maybe not, but Jordan at least should say, hey, why don't you come over and join us?
Yes.
Because he will get a lot of exposure through HTM.
Oh, for sure. He could definitely, get more exposure through the HTM community for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And Don says it was the Victory is what he's working on.
The big Victory?
I couldn't tell you if it's considered the big one or not. It looked like a decent size to me. I would assume there would be a lot bigger ones than that, though.
Well, when I say the big one, I'm talking about the one that's sitting behind me.
Oh, yeah, no. I think this one sounds like because he also has. Oh, and he says yes, same as Dom.
Wow,
okay.
Same as Dom and Jeff. Yeah. I think it was Jeff that suddenly started posting pictures today, and I was like, oh, another one?
Yeah, because Cass has a life outside of Lake Monster Details. It doesn't pay his bills by any stretch of the imagination, and he does work a full-time job as well.
I believe that Don was actually retired when he was doing it.
Yes, and they talk about that kind of at the beginning too, how Don had actually been a military man as well at one point in his life.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that either. They
Seems like
showed a picture of him there standing beside a tank.
Seems like we're everywhere.
Eric says, Ken, I posted a Trek meme in Discord General that made me think of you. And then he laughs. Maybe Buck can show it on the stream. I'd appreciate that. Yeah, I don't really have access to the Discord right now. If Buck's willing to share that.
I absolutely am.
I appreciate that.
As a matter of fact, while you were talking, I was pulling it up.
Oh, right on. And Donnie says, if you guys keep up with the wood stuff, we're going to get termites in here.
Well, depending on how things work out. There we go. Oh, dopey me. How about if I add it to the stage? But depending on how things work out,
I like that, Eric. That is awesome. My body is not a temple. It's a Federation ship with critical hull damage and shields down to 15%.
When I first saw that, I actually thought Jody.
So many of us.
Yes.
Don's trying to summon some more wood. He's wood.
Oh. Speaking of which, are you going to join us tomorrow, Ken?
I'm severely thinking of it. I do have that book nook that I haven't been, giving any love to lately. I've been building that not Lego tank or mortar, self-propelled mortar.
Yes, that was awesome. And I'm actually torn between working on the Constitution, the Victory section, another Tram, or a book nook for tomorrow.
Okay.
Somehow, because wood modelers have suddenly started coming out of the woodwork. Dun-dun-dun. On HTM, we suddenly have a lot more wood modelers than anybody knew.
Yes, yeah, and I had mentioned that in the chat during the Cass's stream. I kind of Will's stream with Cass. I kind of mentioned that, kind of as a hint, but they were so busy talking to each other, not reading the comments as much, because they were kind of more of doing the Cass's story and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is that if we, with the number of people we have that build with wood, I think we might have reason to make a wood stream one day a week.
I can't see why not, right?
Yeah. I mean, that way we're really going across the gamut because we don't do a stream because you don't really stream for 3D printing, but we have 3D printers.
Yes.
We have people that Donnie in particular painting 3D prints. Knocked another one off. We have part works. We have traditional plastic models. We should find a day for wood.
Oh, thanks, Keith. Yeah, I do hope I can, join you guys tomorrow. And Eric says you could make Woody the wood stream mascot. I picture some almost like a Pinocchio type little character, but with a log for a head and like a little cut off short branch for a nose.
Well, actually, I don't know. Have you seen the intro for it?
I don't believe I have. In fact, I can say I certainly haven't.
I believe that I sent it to Keith only.
Oh, okay.
So let me bring it up. Let me play it. It's 43 seconds long, and part of that is it's got a 10-second intro. But this is what did Todd new teeth. This is what Todd did for the intro for the Wood Wednesdays.
Okay. That's cool.
I'm not gonna let it count the whole time down. And so since he put on there hosted by me, guess what? I'm gonna be at every one of them.
There you go.
Kind of have to.
Other than that being burnt in wood kind of look, it also makes me think of Woody Woodpecker.
Yeah.
How it kind of comes out like that. If you remember the old Woody Woodpecker intro.
I don't remember one like that. Oh, yes, I do. I know what you're talking about, where he drills through the board.
Yes. Yep.
And then he finished. Once he gets through, he's like, ha 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 ha.
Exactly. Donnie says, I usually find a night for wood. And then he's got a sly look on his face. Don says, roll tape. Eric says, roll that beautiful bean footage.
A night for wood. Could be morning wood.
Well, it could be.
I did kick that idea around for a while too.
Unfortunately, it kind of narrows it down to just mostly, us retired folks and and some Europeans possibly. Not that we don't want Europeans here. I mean, it's great to have people from around the world join you.
Oh yeah. Well, and it's funny because the group that you, Donnie, and I came over from has international in its name.
Yes, it does, because it's involved in 2 countries. That's it.
Yes. Somehow we have managed to go. Let's see. We've got UK. We've got Canada. We've got Germany. We've got the Netherlands. We've got Australia.
Yep. Yeah, HDM has a lot of variation of people from the world. Japan.
Yeah, I forgot about Masa.
Yep.
Oh, Eric, You know that you say that in jest, but I kick that idea around every now and then. Getting a laser cutter. Okay, let's see how well how I bent this one.
Interesting. Dawn says, I have a laser cutter and something is in the works in this brain. Cool.
Very nice. Come on, come on. So let's see. I wonder if this is this the side I drilled out? Probably not. That would make too much sense. No, it's not. Let me do it from this side.
And Gordon says, I don't watch the other channel. It's all 3D printing. No, yeah, I saw it going that way too, and I was just like, not really what I signed up for, so to speak.
No.
And Eric says, very cool, Dawn.
Okay.
You almost need like a bending template almost to kind of lay it on and then bend it into that shape and then put it into place.
Well, it has one.
Oh, well, look at me speaking out of my butt and not knowing what I'm talking about.
Hang on a second. Echo, turn off patio. Get rid of that glare a little bit. So you can see this one here was actually, let me see. Oh, you know what? Huh. What was 54?
Oh, Keith's going to bed. Good night, Keith.
Good night, Keith. I used the wrong one. I used 50 instead of 87.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right. 50 was, I forgot about this one inside when I did the inside. Yep. But I think that works well.
Yeah, it does.
And I need to, it gets glued here because it's actually long enough to stick out the top. It gets glued there, and then a 10 millimeter, I think it was, no, 15 millimeter one gets glued above it. Hey, who's knocking your 3D printing?
To be honest, Donnie, resin printing somewhat frightens me. I think the filament printing, I find that interesting because I see how much it's improving lately. And I really like the idea of those multicolor ones because I've watched some people do like tiny little, almost like business card size, like little multicolor model kits, like a little Jeep and stuff like that. I always thought those are kind of cool to see.
If 3D printing had come along before I had 500 kits in the stash, I would have given it a serious thought, seriously thought about it.
Yeah.
But I have way too much in the stash. I already have more than any 10 men can do in one lifetime.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, buddy. Don is saying he needs to find the right clear plans, I guess, for his for what he's going to be laser cutting.
Very cool. My rod's a little bent there. Indeed, it is.
As long as it still works.
Yep. What movie was it? It was one where they were in basic training or some such like that. And the DI said something along the lines of, "You've been peeing around corners?" Maybe.
And for those of you not in the know, a DI is a drill instructor.
Yeah. DI, TI, MTI. They're known by a huge number of names, but never, ever, ever cream puff. One of my drill instructor, or one of my TIs, because in Air Force Basic it was TIs, and that's a training instructor.
Mm-hmm.
One of our TIs, somebody said something about him being a cream puff TI.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Sergeant Crawford, all of 5'5" or so, came unglued. And well, the man was already scary because the first night when you're sitting there and he's yelling, because you've been to basic training, right?
Oh yeah, back in '91.
Yeah, and they're yelling and screaming and all this, and you're already scared and everything else, and this guy's brim of his hat is hitting right here in the center of your chest as he's talking to you, and you're like, and you, for some stupid reason, your eyes tilt down to the top of his hat, and he's like, "Quit eyeballing me, boy!" And you're like, "Holy shit!" It was funny too because he kicked one of the beds and he broke it.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. The steel frame beds, he broke one. It wasn't broke it, it just came apart, but it was still. This little guy kicked one of the beds and broke it. And it was the coolest thing because I had dorm guard the last day, which you had to have somebody watching the door because the doors were all locked from the inside and the TIs could not get in unless you let them in. So you had the dorm guard there. And I had dorm guard on the last night of basic training. We had all graduated and we were getting on planes and everything overnight and, the next morning. And I went down and talked to Sergeant Crawford because he had CQ. And people were not quite done with getting packed and everything else. And I asked him about, is it okay if we're quiet, if we kind of go a little bit beyond lights out? And he was like, yeah, no problem. And it was amazing because this guy, after you graduated, went from being the worst asshole and the scariest guy you've ever met to he was just such an awesome kid or guy, not kid, guy.
Yeah.
He was, it was funny because I missed honor grad from basic training by 2 demerits.
Good evening, Todd.
Todd? Hi, Todd. Welcome, Todd. But it was funny because he was like, I missed it by 2 demerits on a inspection. And I had picked up my blues and they were, they put about 1 million tags into your pockets and everything just so that the TIs could catch it. And he was like, he told me point blank, he was so disappointed when that happened. Well, I was one of the special kids in basic training. I didn't really pay attention at one day or the first night when they told you to shave every hair. If it isn't your eyebrows, every hair on your face has got to be gone. So I had a mustache after they shaved my head. And the TIs loved me. For one day. Well, I learned something. And I would pass this on to anybody who's going to any type of basic training. Screw up spectacular on day one. Get it to where every TI on the base knows who you are on day one. And on day 2, don't screw up anymore. Because what happens is you become invisible.
There you go.
I mean, we had this thing, we called it the snake pit in the chow hall. And they were really good at catching airmen doing absolutely nothing wrong. But it was funny, you'd be cutting across the chow hall, going from the line to sit down and eat. And one of the TIs at the snake pit would yell out, "Airman, you learned on day one, do not stop, do not look, just, you did not hear that." Because anybody who stopped, anybody who looked, ended up at the snake pit getting yelled at for doing absolutely nothing. But it was also, basic training was a fantastic experience because they purposely go through and they not really degrade you, but they break you down.
Yeah.
They break you down
to
in the
remold
first,
you kind of
into
what they need.
Exactly. And I talked to Sergeant Crawford, and that was one of the things, like I said, he became human on the last night. And I talked to him, and I said, we talked a little bit, and it was funny because he admitted that on day one of basic training, the TIs really are pissed off. That's not an act. They are pissed off as all hell at you because they just had a flight of 30 to 60 airmen that they had created from these bag of dirt civilians. No insult to any civilians, but they did this over the last 6 weeks now, 2 months, and now they have a whole bunch of bag of dirt civilians again, and it kind of pisses them off.
Yeah. But as a drill instructor, that sort of thing, I'm sure it's the same in the US like it was in Canada. As an instructor on on something like that, you go back to the office afterwards, after you're done being all mean to them for the day, and you're just swapping stories. Hey, so Private so and so did this, and you're just laughing.
Oh yeah.
Because to you,
absolutely,
it's more of a joke, right? And you're just like, oh, it was good. And, yeah.
Well, it's like I was a first sergeant in the Air Force, and the First Sergeants Council, I understand it. I kind of participated a little bit, but I didn't. Gossip group. This is what my airmen did, and we all have a good laugh. But I'm like, my slant on it was, okay, yeah, but let's not be laughing at them because they don't know.
Right. See, I'm not a fan of being an instructor on a basic training. I'm more of a fan of being an instructor on a later career course, like even just like not even the secondary course, like where you're doing more of your trades training, like more of the, a course on, I can't even think of what to say, but something where people have, selected the course, for example, in their learning plan or, their career advancement, what they want to do. And, they're a trained soldier already, like, so you can treat them a little more normal.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm not, I hate being the bad guy. That's just not me.
Well, and that's one of the things that was great about base detail. Base detail, they sent me over to the clinic to cut grass with basically scissors.
Ooh.
Oh, and it was funny because things like that, I cheated basic, a little bit, because I was over at the clinic and they were, we're like, when they would come out and say something or ask us a question or anything, we'd pop up to attention, sir, so airman so-and-so reports, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, don't do that here. You're in the real Air Force here.
Yeah.
Escorted one of my flight mates to Wilford Hall emergency room because he and another airman were wrestling, which they weren't supposed to be doing. And Mike's jaw got popped out of joint and it locked. And so from then on, he was known as Lockjaw. But it wasn't Lockjaw. It was Rockjaw, because that's what he said. I was like, what's wrong? He's like, hey, rock.
I remember clearing into a base one year, and you're going through. You got to go to the different places to clear in, to pay, to headquarters, all that stuff. You're doing. I'm assuming you guys would do the same.
Yeah.
So you're going around clearing into all these places, and so there I'm in the headquarters area, just waiting my for my do my in clearance. And at that point, I was the only one in clearing for what I was coming in for. So I was the only one in the headquarters at the time for it. And the sergeant major comes walking over to me and goes, "You." He's like, "Have you ever been on charge parade before?" And I'm like, "No, Sergeant Major." He goes, "Oh," he's like, "Well, you are now." He's like, "This guy here is getting charged. He needs an escort." I was like, "Ooh." Yeah. Did you guys have an escort for charge parade at all, or?
Is that where somebody is going to
go see the CO and get some sort of punishment, where it's not like a court type of thing, but it's you march him in, he stands at attention before the sergeant major, the CO, and his unit commander, and then they dish out whatever punishment for whatever the person did.
We would normally have, when something like that went on, as the first sergeant, I would be the one who was in charge of them, making sure that they did everything right. I would set the stage and all that. We usually had their commander, and depending on what it was, I mean, I had one airman who got arrested for DUI, and so me as the first shirt, my commander, the group commander, the kid's supervisor, and the supervisor all got to stand at attention in the wing commander's office.
Yep.
At 5 a.m.
Okay. Yep.
When the wing, and the best part was we're all in our service dress, and the wing commander walks in sweats from the gym.
Nice.
Oh yeah. But it was that, that was one time. And normally if the kid was going just to see the squadron commander, the first sergeant is the one who did all of that. Basically, told the person who was in trouble what to do, how to report, everything. I'd tell my airmen as we were going in, okay, here's what's going to happen. You're going to stand at attention. When I come back out, you will knock once and not do anything until you hear come in. You will hear the commander say come in. When you hear that, you will open the door. You will walk through. You'll go about 18 inches in front of the center of his desk. Pop us, go to attention, salute, give a reporting statement. If the commander says at ease or anything the commander says that puts you at any position besides attention, you go to parade rest. And I also told him, as soon as you open that door belongs to me. You do not worry about it. It's mine from then on. And the greatest thing was the first commander I was the acting shirt for, Major Stark had a conference table in his office.
That's an awesome name.
Yeah. Well, what was funny was the conference table. It was perfect setup. So you got his desk here. The door is right here. The desk is here. The conference table is butted up against the desk. So the poor airman has to come in here, walk down here about 8 foot to the center of this conference table, and give a reporting statement about 12 feet from the commander. And it was hilarious because one time one of our senior master sergeants in the E8 had an airman that I think it was he made senior airman below the zone or something. He was getting something good, and you know how people are, how we like to mess with each other.
Yep.
This kid was so straight-laced. I mean, the commander gave him a sabbatical to go to a church camp. Which, instead of making him take leave, he got to do that without burning leave. And it's right after he comes back from that this kid gets, like I said, I think it was senior airman below the zone, something. And it was just hilarious because Major Stark starts reading him the riot act, we make him do all this stuff. And it was so funny to watch this kid go from attention to more attention to even more attention. And when it's all said and done, the Major Stark was like, he's sitting here going, let you do this and this and this, and you come back and I have to present you with this. Congratulations, and hands him his stripes, going from A1C to senior airman. And the kid's like, what?
Oh.
And Senior Chatham did that because the kid was so straight-laced, because it just was so funny. She told us that it took her about 2 hours to get him unglued.
I'd like to say to everybody, thanks. This segment of the stream has been military buddies swapping stories. Hope we've enjoyed.
Wait. Let's get it right. When military guys get together, we swap lies.
Yeah. Well, we used to say in the military, if you haven't heard frozen lies, but it was rumors. If you haven't heard a good rumor by 10 a.m., start your own.
Yep. I just realized. Let me look at that. Yeah. Okay.
Would you like me to read some comments?
Sure. What I realized is I had double goof in the corner.
I noticed that last week too. So let's see here. So Donnie was talking about 3D. He says, but you can print accessory parts for those kits. Your 500 kits, and how you were saying, had 3D printing been around earlier, which is true. It is very true. You could. And also Todd was also going off to date night, by the way, everyone. That's why he was only popping in for a short moment. I'm sure everybody's read that by now. Eric is saying all this DI talk makes me want to watch Major Payne, Renaissance Man, and Full Metal Jacket. All great movies.
Yep.
And Donnie says, us little guys can be dangerous. You sure can, because you're usually underestimated.
Dun-dun-dun.
And never make that mistake. And then everybody was saying hi to Todd. What are you working on next?
Who, me? You know what I'm working on. No, what am I working on next?
You got all these rods bent in there. You don't have them all done on the other side yet?
Oh no, they're all done.
Are they? Oh, yeah, they are too.
But no, what I'm looking at right now is I'm probably going to take them back out. Right now they're just fitting there.
Right.
Because once they're permanent, I'll cut this about, 1/16 of an inch off. I think the next thing, let's see.
Right. If you underestimate Donnie, he will punch you right in the FEP.
Oh.
That just sounds painful.
It does. Don't underestimate Donnie. That's what I mean.
Jody must be just listening to us. Busy at his his hobby bench. I'm guessing because he's just now saying, "Hey, Todd." Sorry to say, Jody. I think we missed him. I think he's gone on his date now.
I think Todd knows that when I get going, I can talk more than most people.
Well, we haven't really had any awkward silences tonight, so glad to say.
Yeah. Well, and to be honest, it helps to have a second person.
Oh, it does, for sure. I was tempted to jump in on your stream, Donnie, when you were saying how it would be nice to have a producer. I thought about it, then I was like, well, I'm not really saying anything in chat either, so I was just like, I'm just gonna lay low tonight.
Well, and I think I did it the perfect way. Emailed you today and said, by the way,
yes,
if you're not doing anything, come on in.
Yeah, and I appreciate that invitation. Jody's actually saying he just got home. He had to go out for a bit. Well, glad you made it back.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, Canada can be dangerous.
Yes. Especially if somebody's house moose got out. Then they're on the loose.
Yeah.
Moose on the loose. Watch out.
You just sent me back about 47 years. You guys didn't have mother moose in Canada, did you?
Does not sound familiar.
Larry Beck, who is known as the Bard of Alaska, he did a show. He did a stage show where he talked or recited a bunch of Robert Service, and he was so good at it. And he had a show on when I was about 13 years old in Anchorage, and it was called Mother Moose.
Okay.
And it was Mother Moose is on the loose. Da, 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 da. I mean, it's and so you said House Moose is on the loose. I'm like, yep.
Thanks, Donnie. I appreciate that. Donnie says I'm always welcome on his streams, so I appreciate that.
You're always welcome here as well.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Buck.
So now let's see how this is going to work. Switch cameras real quick. Maybe.
Show us where that goes. Right along there. Okay.
So I'm wondering, and the reason I switched cameras is this is actually not part of the kit. This is I'm fixing a problem that I see.
Oh, Buck's fixing.
Yeah. So the question is, should it stop here? Hang on.
Let's take a look at the.
Let's zoom this in a little bit. Holy crap! There's people in there.
There's a man on the wing of the plane.
And you notice I still have the other window right there.
Yes, you do.
So I'm wondering, would it look better
without
just
cutting it off?
Just stopping there.
Mm-hmm.
Or all the way down.
Do you have anything to put in the center area for signage or anything like that?
Let me see where it actually is supposed to go.
Yeah.
The signage, this right here, will go right above this line.
Okay. So it could either work either way to enhance it, or
it'll go like that.
Cut it off and just, I would, my opinion, we can ask the audience, would be to cut it off because the signage area looks like it's, uninterrupted by anything. But that's just my opinion. Gordon's saying go the full length, which also would be good because it would highlight it as well at the same time as an underlining.
Don said call 911. Might be injuries in that cable car. We've had a cable car accident. It's flipped over.
Yep. Well, the one guy clearly has whiplash. Look at him. He's holding the back of his neck.
Yeah. And what's funny is the gal on the other side, she is holding on for dear life.
Honey, don't relax. Gravity's on your side. You're on the bottom side.
So let's just see. I'm not going to actually put it on there.
Jody would like to see the picture again before he makes his decision.
There you go. I kind of like the idea of having it there as a guideline. Actually, this is a better picture. Matter of fact, that
it's gonna
sign
get painted
sits.
anyway, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna paint this the same sky blue.
Right. I think either way will be nice. I mean, I don't think it really matters either or. You know, once it's painted in there.
I am leaning towards having it on there. It'll kind of be like a support area there.
Mm-hmm.
So now let me put this back in. Put this in the container I have for this, so I don't lose it.
And Jody, I yes, thanks for the invite to yours as well. I appreciate that, and I look forward to seeing you doing your next stream. So enjoyable. I love all the voices, character voices and stuff you do. It's amazing, as well as all the work you do too.
His work is absolutely amazing. Matter of fact, I keep looking straight in front of me is the HTM medallion.
Yeah. I don't know if you've noticed, Jody. I mention you a lot in our buddy build. Okay. At least once an episode, I like to mention you. Yeah, like Jody says, as a trim.
Yeah. And I might, once it's on there, I'm going to take a look. I might leave it as an accent. Not an accident, but an accent. And that is why I like doing these trams, because you make these things and you make them your own.
Oh, very true.
And you notice
it's not like you're sending to the Tram Museum in San Francisco to show it off as the most accurate thing ever.
Hey, I have a video from there.
Cool.
Were you? I don't know. I don't remember. Were you watching last week?
Yeah. I want to say I was.
When
you were asking us if you should paint the brass white or leave it.
Well, Todd had some video of because we got discussing how the cable cars actually work. And he had some video of the power station for the cable cars.
Yes, that's right. And then I jokingly asked if that woman was single.
Yes.
Oh, hello, Andrew. Welcome.
Hey, Andrew. Welcome.
How has the masking been going?
I do have to say, I like these paints. I like these paints a lot because you see me sanding here, and you can't tell I sanded it. There we go. It didn't go down straight down to the wood.
Nice.
Secondary hull, very cool.
Yeah, are you going to be putting out a progress video here yet soon before Wonderfest, I hope? Jody says, I noticed, can I watch everyone? Thank you. You're welcome. Don says, is it French, English, or German accent? Dad jokes again.
Who said that?
Don.
Well, Don, sorry to disappoint you, but it's actually Spanish. Oh, don't do that. Oh, that was dumb.
Oh, yes, with that part you had mentioned earlier.
Yeah, this part here.
Yes. See, Andrew says, not quite sure if a video will make it before Wonderfest or not. It's kind of heads down, get the work done mode at the moment. I understand.
To be honest, that's the one thing I have not yet gotten my head wrapped around. That's why I always have so much to do and so little done. I have a ton of stuff to do. I mean, I've been getting to the victory section. I've been getting to make the intro video where I unbox it for 2 weeks now. Pre-paint it prior to putting the trim strip on. Well, see, that's the thing, Don. I think I'm going to leave that trim as bare wood, or
stain it, maybe.
Actually, what I should do, oops, and I need to do the same thing on the posts. Should have done it before I put them in. I need to paint them that OcCre that the seats are.
Right. To give it a matching color.
Yep.
Yep.
Maybe.
I see what you're putting down. Oh, hello, Stephen Haynes. Todd's not here. He's on date night tonight.
Yes, Stephen, I have Ken here tonight. When I paint this, I have to actually look and see. I think I may have been better at that fill here than I thought I was, because that looks really smooth. And
you could try to paint over it and see how it comes out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and then you'll know for sure.
And I'm very impressed with the wood putty that I bought, because it mixes just with water. And I mixed that up months ago, and it's still viable.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Echo, turn on patio. The only reason I do that is because I need a light shining this way, because it's so dark on my side.
I have to get a new light for over my bench. The one I have kind of at the rear of my bench, facing somewhat forward and mostly down, has started to flicker, so I had to stop using that one.
Yeah. Well, the LED panels that I've had for a while, there's another one of those arms. The LED panels that I had for a while, wasn't the last one, but another one gave up the ghost, and I'm like, I love them, but they're USB powered, which is what's causing all the issue, because I have a USB power supply splitter, which does not give the lights the power they need. And so they end up flickering and they end up wearing out.
Yeah. And that light was a light I'd been using long time ago, since before I even moved to the city here. So long before I started on YouTube. It was my main source of light on my bench.
Yep. Well, and I've got the ring light above me still, because it's got my camera inside it.
Yes.
I think that works well. And I went, it's kind of funny. My main lighting now is the same lights that I have been using for 12 years.
Ooh, yeah.
I had them in the shop in California, in the rental house. I had them in the garage in the house that we bought in California. They're shop lights.
Right.
With LED. I think those are LEDs. Not positive if they're LEDs, but they got spotlights in them. And I was staring at them, and now I can't see.
That'll happen.
Yes, it will.
Andrew says, yes, Ken is one of our official producers at HTM. Yeah, I love helping my my friends over here at HTM by coming in and doing a little producing.
And we love having you do it.
Well, thank you. I try to keep the conversations going. Because, we all know it's hard when you're trying to, look down at your work and start getting into a groove there and concentrating, and then, having to break that concentration to look back up at the screen and talk and, read to see what you've missed and then talk.
Well, and I'm really good at that. I'll get talking, blah, blah. I'll start doing an outro and somebody will post a comment and I'm like off in left field all of a sudden.
Squirrel.
Yep. Hey, I got squirrels outside.
Oh yeah, my dogs used to love just once we moved to the city, loved sitting at the front window because it was low front windows, only like a foot or so off the ground. But they would love sitting there looking out, watching the squirrels, and then just going crazy, barking at them.
Speaking of dogs barking, we're about to contract for our replacement fence because the insurance company in their infinite wisdom said 3 panels need to be replaced. And we looked at the fence and said, it's 7 years old, it's wood.
Mm-hmm.
It's 7 years old, it's wood, and it's never been painted.
You're about to lose a brass rail on the other side there, on the bottom side. Turn it to the upside down.
Yep.
Oh, never mind.
I'd say it fell.
Yep.
But the fence is 7 years old, never been painted, and it's in the Midwest, and so it is in really, really atrocious condition. So we decided to replace the whole fence with a vinyl fence.
Oh.
And I came across something, and I was like, that is so cool. Apollo will love that. I'm probably going to cut a hole or at least one, if not 2 holes in the fence for portholes for him because he loves the dogs behind us.
Yeah. Oh, my dogs always used to love playing with either in the last town I was living in or here in the city. They would love running back and forth with the dog next door, on the other side of the fence.
Yep. That's exactly what Apollo does.
Yep. Yeah.
And so we thought, and we've talked to the neighbors behind, we thought it would be great to give Apollo a porthole to look through. Because the neighbors behind us, they get out there and play with their dogs. And Apollo, unfortunately, never learned how to play fetch the ball and bring it back. I will chase the ball all day long. You go pick it up and throw it again.
I learned quickly to have more than one.
Yeah.
So they have to come to me with the one, and then look, here's the other one. So they would drop that one, and then, but their favorite was frisbee. I'd get those rubber dog frisbees.
Yeah,
and they love those things.
Well, Apollo's thing is to bring it about 25 feet from me and drop it on the ground there and say, you come over here and get it.
Yeah. Eric is asking, Buck, are you still going to Wonderfest?
As far as you know, yes, I am.
I think Donnie's getting tired of watching those rails fall out. He's like, glue on those rails, Buck.
I would, but I got to get behind here first. I got to finish the work behind them first. Then I'll glue them in.
Jody says, I'm going back to work. I'll be listening. I want to try to get this done. I lost a lot of time painting by hand. And that does take a lot of time. It's going to be cool, but won't look nice. Oh, I'm sure it'll look great.
It will. And the thing is, it'll be in the backyard. Our neighbor has no problem with it. It's going to be kind of funny because our dog will look through, their dog will want to look through, but they're not just portholes. They have a bubble on one side.
Nice.
So the dog can stick its head through and kind of look and go, "What's going on?"
Donnie says Jack loved playing fetch. Yeah.
Oh,
I did more fetch with my dogs than I did walking with them because walking with them was great, but just playing fetch, I could tire them out so much. I have 2 German Shepherds, so I could tire them out so much quicker doing fetch with the Frisbees.
And Apollo, like I said, he's my grandson's dog. Unfortunately, Jordan has not done everything he could have with Apollo. Apollo loves to go for a walk, and you are his best friend if you take him for a walk, whether it's for a half hour or 5 feet. He's like, "I gotta go outside? Really?"
Sorry, I'm reading the comments here. Okay, sorry, Eric, I gotta skip yours first and say Donnie said, I tried to teach Buck to play frisbee. As it turns out, pistols don't catch very well. He tried like hell, but never got the hang of it. And he says, sorry, I tried to teach Jack, not Buck. Yeah, Buck, you're not very good at fetch, Buck. Sorry, that had me laughing.
That's funny. Now that's funny right there. I don't care who you are.
And then, Eric said, and Buck will moon his neighbor through it too.
Maybe.
Will eat now.
Hey, I haven't done naked modeling in a couple days. Matter of fact, I only did it one time.
I could just see you doing to the little bubble thing. Is just if you know the neighbor's dog's nearby or someone's nearby that hole, just hide near it, but don't let them see you through it. And then at the last second, just stick your head in and go, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Actually, it was kind of funny. Today, we were making dinner. I was helping Andrea, and I came out, I was behind Murphy, and I'm talking to him and say, "Yeah," and then I reached down and touched him. He's like, "Oh shit!"
And then speaking of mooning, Eric says, "Hey neighbor, does this make it look bigger?
Does this make me look small?
Does this make my bum look bigger?"
Yeah. Oh, and it's kind of funny. I was talking about it earlier. I've done 2 of the videos for the Connie so far.
Yep.
And I was going through, I had opened the box. I looked through it and everything on the stream on Sunday. And then I put it all back in. I forgot where everything was. So I opened it up and I'm like, where are these parts? So it is pretty much a live capture of me doing my thing. So 1 by 5. I think this is 5. Love this thing. No, that's 4. Nope, that's 5. It's actually 4.5, but we're not going to argue with them. Yeah. You know what? I just decided.
What's that?
At Wonderfest, Donnie needs to bring a Frisbee and teach us how to catch.
Or a ball or whatever he used.
Yeah, exactly.
Tennis balls are great.
That's what's funny with Oliver, because little dogs are great because you can throw things for them in the house, and they get really riled up and they run like they're running across the whole yard. He's got 3 or 4 stuffed animals, and it depends on his mood that day as to which one he really, really wants. And so I'll figure out which one he really, really wants, and I'll throw the other ones first. He'll go tearing across the kitchen. He'll chase it. He'll run over to it. He'll look at it and go, "Nope, that ain't it." He'll come running back.
And Donnie's being facetious there, saying, "Sweet, I didn't know you were building a Constitution class ship."
I am, and it has the it has the new solar sails. How did Buck lose his front teeth? Playing frisbee.
Yeah. Oh, my one dog Amber, she used to love jumping for the frisbee. No matter how low it was getting, she wanted to catch it in the air.
Yep.
And it had to be a jump. She always wanted a jump. Whereas Zoe, the 10-month younger one, she wanted to. She didn't care. She would jump so much. She'd be more of a I'll catch it wherever it is, but I don't really want to jump.
Yeah.
She would lunge for it if it was ahead of her and kind of at her level, but yeah, she wasn't. Whereas Amber would try to go for height if she could.
Oh yeah, I am going to catch that thing in the air, even if I have to jump half an inch off the ground.
Yeah, and I actually got them trained pretty good that they knew that the turns were alternated as to whose frisbee it was.
That's kind of cool.
Throw one, and then so Amber knew that was her turn, so she would be the one who'd catch it, unless it was coming right at Zoe's face. Then Zoe would grab it, But then they both run back together, and then she would drop it, and then I'd throw the next one, and they both go running after. But Zoe knew it was hers, and Amber knew it was Zoe's, and Zoe would get it, and then it was great. Didn't take that long. Yeah, it took maybe a month of that, and then they had kind of learned. But I would get them so worn out. I think I'd do 80 throws, so they each would get 40 catches. And
that's cool.
And they would be in the house, they'd drink some water, and they would just like lay down, and then they were done. They were just panting heavy for like the longest time.
It was one of the things that was funny with Tyson. Tyson would, throwing ball or stuffed animal or whatever, all of them would be like, yeah, go chasing after it. Tyson would always go, I'm going to get it. He'd always get it first. And he was good about it. He would grab it, he'd run back, he'd give it to you. And then after it was a 4th or 5th time, he's like, okay, I'm done. And he'd go inside with the toy.
Donnie says, I used to play football in the backyard with Jack. It didn't take me long to figure out you can't stop a pit bull running at full speed. He took my feet right out from underneath me and kept going. Then came back over like, what you doing on the ground?
We had a dog that would do that. Except for he was good.
Oh, I was going to say, and then Eric says, good doggy.
Fido would do that, and he was a Great Dane German Shepherd Mastiff mix.
Ooh.
Yeah, a little bit sizable dog. And, he would run over. The only person he ever ran over was me. He got out one time, and you know how it is. You got a neighborhood full of kids, especially in the 70s. You got a neighborhood full of kids. The dog gets out. It's a party for the whole neighborhood.
Yep.
And we're all running after him and everything. And everybody, he went through the fence behind the house into the field, the track and field for the high school. And everybody goes up the area where the power lines were at. Just an easement where the power lines went through to kind of get up to the high school and chase him back. Except this one idiot, also known as me, who went through the same spot that Fido did because, there was there was the chain link fence, and then there was a wood fence on the end, and so you had a gap about this wide that you could go through.
Right.
And that was where how he got into the field, the football field and all that. And I'm chasing him, yelling for all I'm worth. My 10-year-old self is going to catch this 80-pound dog. I'm running across the field, yelling his name, and he finally listens and he starts coming back. And like I said, this 80-pound dog and I saw eye to eye. He was the same height as I was, pretty close. And he comes running towards me, and he gets about 1.5 inches from me and stops dead. Comes up with his shoulder and goes, boom, right dead center of my chest.
Oh.
And I go down like a ton of bricks, just down on my back.
Yep.
Thought I was going to die.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm laying there, breath knocked out of me, going, ah, ah, ah. And Bido does the dog thing of licking my face and saying, you okay?
Yep.
And that was when all the other kids in the neighborhood showed up, and they're like, what happened? I said, Bido tried to kill me. He thought it was great fun.
First you tried to kill me, now you're trying to kiss me.
Yep. But he was a great dog. We had I don't remember if it was under the pool table. No, the pool table, I was going to say under the ping pong table, but the ping pong table sat on top of the pool table. We had a pool table. This is the 70s. Everybody had a pool table.
Didn't they, though?
And we had, for him, because of the size of the dog, for him, my parents got, and I don't know where it came from, but for a bed for him down in the basement, my parents got him a queen-size bed. Just the mattress. And so they had pictures of me, like I said, about 10 years old, laying on the mattress with the dog, both of us asleep. What was funny was that, yes. What was funny was that was not, he was not my dog. He was supposed to be Paul's dog.
Yeah.
It's just like, Apollo is Jordan's dog, but it's so cool in the morning because in the mornings he'll come down here because we had some dog food that the other dogs didn't really like. And so they still don't like it. But I tried giving it to him one time because I had it down here. Andrea said, throw it away. I'm like, well, let's see if Apollo will eat it. And he came down one morning and I gave it to him and he's like, that's good stuff, Dad. Can I have some, and have some more? And every morning now he comes down, he'll sit right behind my chair. I'll be working on something. He'll come in here and go, he'll sit there and talk to me. He's like, Dad, it's time for breakfast.
It's just, if you give them a chance, they have such a personality if you pay attention to them.
Oh, it's funny because he'll come into our bedroom. He will hang out in our bedroom more often than he'll hang out on his own in Jordan's room. He loves to hang out with us.
Oh, yeah.
And then he'll hang out on my side of the bed.
The most.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of funny because he likes, well, I don't know. Do you know what a Samoyed is?
Sorry?
A Samoyed?
Like the dog breed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a white, he's almost a husky.
Okay.
The dog is, when he has his full complement of hair, we had him shaved down recently because he's got more hair than any 3 dogs deserve. But he loves to be outside, and he will sit outside in the rain and go, what? We're like, it's raining. He's like, yeah. And because his coat is like, when it's full, when his coat is full, between the undercoat and his regular coat, it's about 2 to 2.5 inches thick. And so he'll sit out there, and it's funny, he'll spend the night out there. He'll lay out in the yard and what have you. But first thing in the morning, when he realizes I'm up and I'm down here, he comes in and is like, is it breakfast time?
Donnie says, bless you.
Yes, bless me. Oh, I said Samoyed. I didn't get that at first. That's so sad. I'm going to come up about about a half inch short.
You have to use a new piece of a new strip.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, that's the problem. I have the 0.5 millimeter thick. I'm going to have to see if I can find 1 millimeter thick.
Ah, yes.
Actually, that's funny. That is funny because this piece here, I didn't measure.
Oh, nice.
That's the leftovers at this point.
So it's a calibrated eyeball there.
Yeah, well, it's actually about a 0.5 millimeter short.
Which is not really noticeable from a normal viewing distance.
It is if I leave it wood. They actually have it set as wood. Yeah, let's see. There you can see it.
Oh, okay, yeah. If you center it, though, maybe? I'm not too sure.
Well, I should have. Let's just see. Probably not in this. It's funny how much blanking I have left, but none of the... No!
There we go.
Is it? It is.
Nice.
It is. Nice.
Donnie says, it's okay. I know you can be a little slow, and he laughs.
Little. Need that wharf sound effect there.
A little.
Okay. I might actually do some work on this off the stream sometime this week. Because I have a lot of stuff that's ready to be painted and finished up.
Well, we did cut into your time a lot, just swapping stories. So.
Oh yeah. Well, a lot of the time, I don't know if you've realized, but a lot of the time, I just keep working.
Yes. I remember watching a video from, I don't know, late 90s, maybe early 2000s of Michael Dorn talking about the character of Worf and how he always used to play such nice characters.
Worf's a nice character.
Yeah.
For a Klingon.
Yeah.
Or as they said in Enterprise, a Klingot.
And Eric's asking, so Buck, when are you going to do a Fallout-based build?
When I find a Fallout-based kit.
Maybe if you talk nice to Donnie, maybe he can print you out some sort of a Fallout-style vehicle.
Well, that's the problem, is in Fallout, you don't use vehicle. Vertibird.
Yeah, but I mean, like the burnt out, broken down cars you'd see, like at the drive-in, or at the Red Rocket station, that sort of thing.
You could do that with the VW.
You could, but they have that particular style of certain cars they would use.
Yeah.
And then I know they do have out there. You can get. I'm trying to remember what company makes some, or you could 3D print them. Some apocalyptic type characters.
Mm.
That you could do up, and then just do a landscape base with just some like sand and sandy kind of dirty rocky terrain or something. Have a burnt out a Fallout type car they're walking by carrying their weapon or whatever.
Actually, you know what?
Some mold rats or something.
I have to look because I don't know if I want to do that with this or not, because Fallout is 50s style technology.
Mm-hmm.
And the ICM came out with a bus. And I had to get it. It was a Greyhound bus, 50s style. I had to get it because I saw that bus. I'm like, basic training. So I have that bus upstairs. I could do something like that with that.
Kind of like the most of a bus there at the intro video in Fallout 3, I think it was, where the radio is still playing, where it comes on, and then the camera pans out from the radio to down the aisle of the bus, and you realize, okay, it's an old wrecked bus, and then you kind of start to see the DC wasteland.
Yep. Yeah, DC Wasteland was good. I actually finished Fallout 3. I never finished it before. And I've never actually finished any Fallout prior to that one. I've played hundreds of hours, but when I got to the end of it, hey, Jeff, welcome.
Welcome, Jeff.
But when I got to the end of it, I was actually disappointed in the ending. It's such a big buildup, and then you have to help the Brotherhood of Steel, and I just
you didn't like them.
I never liked the Brotherhood of Steel. They're just something about them bothers me.
Yeah. Donnie says, I'm sure there's some Fallout style vehicle STLs somewhere. I'm sure you're correct.
Very cool. So let me move the VW so I can show Jeff what I'm doing. And by the way, I really have, after painting this red, I really, really need to do, the VW, after painting it red, I have to do it as Christine.
There you go. The VW version of Christine.
Yes, which means that it will get a white top. And then somehow I will prop open the hood like this, and there will be teeth.
There you go. Would you want to do the top as more of a vinyl texture?
Well, actually, it already has that a little bit.
Okay.
Because, dopey me, I didn't think about it, especially with a Tamiya kit. I forgot to wash my parts.
Yeah.
Always wash your parts.
You could also, for that, thin down ever so slightly a little model or putty, and then stipple it on the roof.
Actually, thinking about it,
stipple.
I think I still have the leather somewhere, the very, very thin leather from the from the Lisbon Tram.
Okay.
If I have enough of that, that would work perfect.
There you go.
I just need to paint it white. So, Jeff, this is what we're up to tonight. I have in the last 2 hours, I started out. Yep. I started out with this coil of wire, and I made the grab rods for the cable car. They're actually, let me see if I can get it to show that they're not a severe bend in there, but there is a bend. It was on live earlier, but got off too many idiots on. Oh. But did that, sanded this down, got these to where they are ready to go in here. reattached many of these. Wrong piece. Determined to put this on here like this, a strip like that, and cut pieces that are actually supposed to be there for the floorboards right in front of the seats. It's been a pretty good, pretty productive evening. That's about as much as I usually get.
He says nice, and he's asking, is the O gauge or gauge?
I think it's NO, not positive. I know it's 1/24. Let's see. What does Google say?
Oh, our friend Google, all the answers. May not always be right, but it has an answer.
Oh, yeah. And my camera changed because I hit the 1.
Using your number pad, are you?
I don't use my number pad as much as I used to. What train scale is a G scale?
Oh, G scale. There you go.
And he asked, yeah, he's asking all the good questions.
He's prepared. You'd think he knows something about scale trains.
It doesn't have a track, but it does have a base. And I have not worked on this on a stream here because nobody wants to watch me cut bricks for 2 hours. Oh, and I suppose I could do that. You know what comes next, right, Ken? Power supply.
It's slipping my mind right now.
Power supply.
Oh, yes, power supply, yes. For the lights, because it's not done unless it's lit.
And it is lit. It is lit well. I do like the way that I've set things up because you notice I just brought the power supply over from elsewhere.
Yes, you did. And Jeff's saying I made my airplane for his layout. Cool. And then he says I have I have O, HO, and N gauge.
Nice. This is actually a kit put out by OcCre, a Spanish model company. Pull this up to 9 degrees.
Andrew says the power supply from over there.
It was from over there.
And Jeff's saying you can make your own tracks. He says I knew a guy who built his own tracks by hand for HO scale.
I have actually seen these, 1 or 2 of them on a track that would run. Echo, turn off patio.
You can really see the lights there now.
Oh.
I wonder where your power supply is connected to.
Oops. Wonder what happened there. Sometimes you outwit yourself. There we go. It is not as blown out as it looks. I love the way it looks, though.
Oh, it looks amazing.
And there's people in there. Echo, turn on patio.
Apparently, Donnie's must have posted a picture there for a Fallout truck that he found for 3D printing.
Oh. Wait, I still have an Enterprise on there.
There you go. Eric says electricity with Buck. And Donnie says that looks awesome. It does.
It does not run. It's actually not designed to run.
The OcCre kit is more to be used as just a static display.
Okay.
You could modify it though, I'm sure, no problem.
Yeah. Well, the what is it? The Pacific. I forget what it is. What the actual designation is, but one of their trains has a motor and light kit for it, but it doesn't actually run.
Oh,
it's the base. You can set it up to where all the wheels will turn, but it won't move. Donnie said, "Here's a Fallout truck," but I don't know where here is. I looked in Discord, not there.
Jeff says Kilroy's Woodworking does laser kits, and he makes things like that, and is making an Indy race car you can put a motor in.
Very cool.
Don, who is Jeff, is Don is Misadventures in Scale Modeling. He's saying cable car motor, cable driven car motor on it.
Oh, you know what, Donnie? The link didn't come through.
No, there was no link there, Donnie.
And I do like Don's comment. Cable-driven car, motor on it.
I mean, with technology the way it is, you could, I'm sure, fit a motor, on the undercarriage of that setup there.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have with your HO trains. Sorry, guys, my only experience with trains was when I was younger. The HO scale trains, kids a lot of times would get for Christmas.
Yeah, well, post it in Discord, Donnie. I'll pull it up.
There we go. He says he will put it up on Discord.
Yeah, great minds think alike.
And fools seldom differ.
Yeah, because make it look like that's making it look like it's in San Francisco is easy. 3D printing. Omni Truck Public Service Mark 1.
Well, I can see it on your screen there. That's a Fallout truck. It sure is.
Yep.
Got that futuristic yet 1950s vibe to it.
Yep. That is pretty cool.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sure there's all sorts of, if you keep looking, there'll be all sorts of Fallout type
people, pets, and plastic. That's not Fallout. That's Soylent Green. That is really cool. And it has headlights.
Oh, so you could light it.
Yes.
Although in Fallout, it's, those usually are kind of burnt out, kind of rusty, not actually operational.
Yep. Okay, well, I usually do about 2 hours, so I think we're going to call this a good evening.
Good evening.
Yep.
Here we go.
Appreciate it. Yeah, exactly. So appreciate everybody coming by. Really glad that you came in and helped out, with the producing. Ken helped a lot.
Oh, glad to be here.
Like I said, everybody glad you came by. Appreciate you stopping in. We'll be on again tomorrow starting at 6 o'clock Central. So about an hour earlier than I started tonight doing the Woody Wednesday. I know I'm going to be here. I think Dawn will be here. Keith should be. Alec, unfortunately, doesn't get off work until late. So we don't know for sure. Hopefully you'll be here, Ken.
I hope to be.
And we'll join. Don says he will be here. Great. That is awesome. So I would really appreciate it. Anybody who watches on the rerun, lost my train of thought. Anybody who rewatches the stream, leave a like, hit the bell icon to be notified of any time I post content. Like, subscribe, and I am all discombobulated right now. But take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow. And I will see you guys in the next video and or stream, including tomorrow.